Hello, boys and girls. I didn't notice you there. I was reading a great book. I'm Mrs. Taylor, and I love to read books. Do you? As I read, it takes me on adventures around the world. Sometimes I laugh, and sometimes I cry. Sometimes I even learn something new. I like going to the movies. They really entertain me. Did you know that authors also write books that entertain us too? Let's meet some different characters that entertain us through books that are called fiction. Fiction means that they're not real. They really didn't happen. Why, hello! My name is Ruth, and I'm searching for clues in the book A to Z Mysteries. Do you like to solve mysteries and look for clues to solve them? Well, so do I. A mystery is an example of a fiction book because the events in the book didn't really happen. Hi, my name is Ninja Red Riding Hood, and that's an example of a fractured fairy tale. You may have heard of the original version, Red Riding Hood, but I think my version is so much better. Don't you think? In both of our books, you read about a talking wolf. And when you read about a talking animal, you know that that book is an example of a fiction book. Fiction books are so cool and fun, don't you agree? Hi-ya! Good morning, boys and girls. My name is Mrs. North, and I'm so glad that my student Marvin was able to come to my house to watch my dog while I was away on vacation. You know, that could really happen in real life. You could be invited to be a dog sitter for somebody, but I don't really exist. I'm just a character in a book, and so is Marvin. So even though the events could really happen, this is an example of a realistic fiction book. But I do have a question for you. Marvin is not available next week to watch my dog. Would you be able to help me out?
Many third grade students enjoy reading graphic novels such as this one called Smile. It's a great fiction book that entertains so many third graders.
As you open up a graphic novel, you'll notice pictures of the characters. Above the characters' heads, you'll notice some speech bubbles. And inside of the speech bubble, you'll notice what the characters are thinking or what they are saying. These graphic novels look like a comic strip. Many students like these graphic novels that tell us what happens in the beginning, middle, and the end of a story. What do you think? Have you ever been to a place called Chew and Swallow? Well, I have in a book and movie called Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Inside of the book, it rains food, but I have a secret for you. Shh. It can't really happen. It's a fantasy. Food can't fall from the sky. Or can it? Oh, I'm really hungry. That's a delicious sandwich. When things can't really happen in a story, we call it fantasy. That's an example of a fiction book. Do you like to read poems? Did you know that poems are fiction? They don't really happen and they entertain us. Here is an example of a bunch of poems that are put together into a book. It's called Runny Babbit Returns, and it's by Shel Silverstein. Check it out in your local library or on your Kindle. Arrgh! It's a shark! Check out what happened in this I Survived series. They share facts about events in the past, but the storyline is made up. Yes, this could really happen. I could be attacked by sharks while I snorkeling. However, it didn't. It's just a make-up story that gives me some facts about some background information about sharks. and the attack that happened. This is an example of a fiction book. It's called historical fiction. Sometimes I'm in the mood to learn something new that actually happened in real life. So I grab a nonfiction book and I open it and learn something new. The author's purpose for making a nonfiction book is to inform us. They tell us information that really happened. Hi, my name is Helen Keller, and you can find facts about me in a book. That makes this type of book nonfiction. Did you know that Helen Keller was deaf and blind? So she communicated with people using sign language. That's what I was using when I was signing. Have you ever wanted to learn more about another country? Well, if you do, you can check out a nonfiction book about another country, and it will tell you facts about what you can see there and what you can do there. Inside of a nonfiction book, you will see photographs. These photographs sometimes have captions on the top of them. Inside of the captions, it tells readers what they were reading about. Do you want to learn more about animals? Well, you can learn more about animals in a nonfiction book. If you open up some nonfiction books, you will see a table of contents, which gives you a list of information about all of the things that you're going to learn about animals in there. And on the other side, you will find page numbers. So you can go directly to that page and find out that information that you need about the animal. Nonfiction reading is kind of cool. It informs us about animals. Today, you've learned information about two types of books. You've learned information about a fiction book and a nonfiction book. So let's review this anchor chart so we can go over the differences together.
A fiction book is fake. That means it's not real. While the events in the story may be able to happen, they didn't actually happen. A fiction book is usually read so we can enjoy what we're reading. As we read a fiction book, we might come across some talking animals. Usually, a fiction book is read in order from the beginning to the middle to the end. And along the way, you're going to learn about the story elements. You're going to learn more about the characters, the setting, which is the time and place that it happened, and you might find a conflict, which is a problem of a story, which also leads us to a solution. The purpose of a fiction book is to entertain us. In a nonfiction book, we know that the events really happened. We're going to read to learn more information about the topic. Inside of a nonfiction book, we will see photographs or pictures and facts that tell us more information about the topic. In a nonfiction book, you can read it in any order. Take a look at the table of contents in the beginning of the book. Then you can determine how you want to read it. At the end of a nonfiction book, you might see a glossary, which is a dictionary. It tells you the definition of words that might not be familiar with you. And in a nonfiction book, you might read some maps. You might see some charts, and you might see some tables. The purpose of a nonfiction book is to inform or to tell us more information. Let's listen to some adventures that I like to take as I read a fiction book.
In a fiction book, you can go on any adventure you want to. You can pretend that you're in Hawaii at a luau. You can pretend that you work at the donut shop. You can also pretend that you work at a candy store. Would you like some? You can pretend that you're a cowgirl in the rodeo. Yee-haw! Or the next minute, you can be relaxing at the beach. You can pretend that you're a referee at a game. Foul! Or another minute, you might be in the army. And
Wouldn't it be fun to imagine that you're a superhero saving the world? What's my favorite book to read? Well, let's take a look at this book and see.
I like to read books that are nonfiction, like the interactive class that allows me to learn new ways to use technology to help engage each and every one of you.
What's your favorite type of book? If you are one of my students, send me a message in my inbox on Canvas and let me know. Did you enjoy today's video? If you did, click the like button down below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single adventure with us. See you real soon!